Hi, I'm Grace Dawes, editor of Movement, and I'm here at Move America 2023 today in Austin, Texas. We're at day 2, it's still early in the morning, and I'm joined by Michele Mueller, manager for connected, automated and electrified vehicles at Michigan Department of Transport. Thank you so much for joining me today, Michele. What are you looking forward to at Move America this year, and what have you enjoyed so far?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a great opportunity, and I think what I've seen at Move America and the experiences so far have been the ability to talk to individual startups, companies in the space that are looking for opportunities. And looking for some of those opportunities could be deploying, sharing what their technology is, being able to get it out, have somebody use it, and then some are really just making connections. Whether it be to other startups, to larger companies, government agencies and things. And those are the things that we take near and dear on every day in Michigan. So this event really supports that theory and that theme around that ecosystem of connections of our industry partners. And then also, as I said, taking that industry partnerships and taking those to a governmental connection and looking at what those opportunities are. We have a startup-based entity in Detroit, and we've worked with a lot of startups coming through that as a state, and particularly MDOT as well. And those have still create great relationships today, and we still engage with those and continue to work with additional startups coming through the system.
Yeah, amazing. Move's a great place to meet new startups. There's a startup village over there and there's hundreds of them. So it's a great place to find them. Can you tell me a bit about your role in the Michigan Department of Transport and what you do? I know it's about connected, automated, electrified vehicles, but a little bit more in the specifics of that?
Yeah, so what my team's responsible for is really end-to-end. So really starting at the looking at the challenges of our infrastructure, working with industry partners to see how can we find solutions to those challenges. Our goal as a state is to make our system safer, smarter, provide the mobility environment. We want everybody to get home to their families every day. That's near and dear to our hearts. So how can we take those opportunities, work from a technology, and get solutions to those? So we talk with companies that come up with ideas, we share those, and we have, now we're in a situation we started many, many years ago where we were out seeking those entities and opportunities, and now they're coming to us, right? So a great return on our ability to facilitate those types of activities and, really working with them, helping them grow, through the process, and, whether we do deployments or things like that, is we learn a lot, right? We learn a lot, the partners learn a lot, and, some of those have been successful and some haven't, but that's okay. And we have to be willing to accept that. And I also think it's a key part of how do you deal with those, how do you make those changes, and then how do you actually implement those into something that is successful in reality, right? So a lot of things to be learned. We love successes. We have a lot to talk about, but I think another exciting piece is to take and understand that as things are being developed, as things grow, they go through those patterns, right? Where maybe it's not 100%. That's okay. We still want to work with those partners. We want to help them grow and do what we can while they're also continuing to grow on their own.
Great, amazing. And I know this morning you took part in the keynote talk, Connectivity and Integration, And going back to what you just spoke about, you spoke a lot about safety and kind of like systems in place in Michigan that observe passenger behaviors and how can this influence safety initiatives in Michigan. Can you tell me a bit more about this, and also about how, I know you're talking a lot about autonomy and implementing more confidence in autonomy. Can you tell me a bit about that more in depth?
Yeah, so we have, like I said, our core goal is around safety and mobility. The other piece that we look at too is the economic side of it. So we do work with our economic branch of our government agencies and, create that ecosystem for companies to come here. We've done deployments around all modes of transportation. Also, things at the borders, right? So Michigan is fortunate to have an international partner right across the river from us, and we do a lot of international activities of people that live in Michigan, goods coming in from freight perspective, how do those cross the borders? So we have projects that are border-faced around passenger vehicles, freight movement. We have intersection deployments that we've done to look at technology to make it safer for vehicles and pedestrians and non-motorized users, as well as looking at safety benefits to our citizens who have disabilities that are trying to traverse our system, and use that and make that more integrated and user-friendly. And then, as we are always continuing to do activations such as those, we've done autonomous activities with autonomous vehicles, testing with other partners, testing with different lane markings. We did a pilot with our industry partners to put down orange markings in one of our construction zone to say, does this really have an impact for autonomous vehicles? And is it something that would benefit them moving forward? We're underway right now with a pretty large project for inductive charging. So we're actually going to charge vehicles in motion. So you'll actually drive over the road, the vehicle will receive a charge from that. Really with the goal being not to go from no charge to full charge, but looking at opportunities where you can extend the trip, right? You can solve range anxiety. A lot of, in that electrification space also is how do we create the ecosystem for different types of charging? So it could be in motion charging, which we're doing, plug-in charging based on the activities of our users, to which type of electrification. A great example that I tell people for inductive charging is, we, again, to our border crossing, we have a very large freight movement. So they do back up to go through customs and border security and things. So we could, put inductive charging where they're sitting. They can't plug in because they have to be able to move, right? Sometimes it's a slow crawl, those types of things. So these types of technologies would actually give them a charge, and when they cross the border, they now have a full charge to continue their delivery, right? So as you start to look at the use cases associated to the technologies, and the benefits, to come is how do we build and make those sustainable benefits? We're currently underway with building a, lane for testing of autonomous vehicles, and understanding, how does that operate? How does that function? A lot to learn from that, right? And then also looking at it to say, how can you take and what are the business models associated to that? And what does that look like? How do we create P3 opportunity, partnership opportunities, those types of activities to advance, these deployments in Michigan?
Amazing. Well, it sounds like you're well and truly busy there and you've got a lot of testing. I know in the talk you were saying you've tested everything to death, but you're still trying to do those advancements. So well done, and thank you so much for all your work. And thank you so much for joining with me today as well to chat about it. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your time at Move America, and it was lovely to meet you.
Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity, and we're always happy to help.